Hello all of you beautiful humans out there in YouTube world. It is 1 o'clock in the morning and as such, it is time for Bedtime with Asonica. Everybody gather close. I'm gonna whisper. Today we're gonna talk about the M word. Money. But if you're really fancy, we're gonna call it financials because that's sometimes more fun. So I would really encourage you guys to watch this video all to the end. I am by no means a financial expert, but I do know some of the pitfalls because I have personally fallen into these pitfalls. So I want to make sure that you guys are aware of some of the pitfalls that you can fall into when you're starting to sort out your financial situation when you start living on your own, and how to avoid them and how to make things better if you may already be in part of some of those pitfalls that I can't talk about right now because my mouth isn't working, so that you don't fall into some of these pitfalls, and so that if you are in these pitfalls, you can find ways to work yourself out of them. Okay, so when you're younger, pitfall number 1 is my parents are there to bail me out. Oh my lord, I have personally experienced this one, and now my parents have to be there to bail me out because I have experienced the very horrible feeling of being flat broke this past month. Like negative $8 in your bank account, flat broke. Like your net worth is in the negatives because you have so much student debt and you have zero money in your bank account, kind of flat broke. The first thing I would encourage you to do is to not make your parents responsible for your financials at all. Take control of your financials early on because that'll seriously help you. I fell into this trap. I was like, you know what? My parents have it. I'm financially secure. Later on in life, you may not be as financially secure because you're going to go to college, you're going to take out student loans, you're going to have to pay back those student loans, you're going to start a career at like the minimum that you can make, and you're going to be stuck because you're used to having luxuries that now all of a sudden you have to get rid of because you're relying on your parents and not on yourself. One thing I would really encourage you guys to do is to make a budget. I am starting budgeting like now, and it is a pain, but I now know exactly where my money is going and there's no more guesswork. And I think that's really important because, quite frankly, I didn't know where all my money was going to until my parents went through my week with me and we had to like figure out where I was spending the most money and how I can budget it out better. It really doesn't have to be anything fancy, and your budget can go, weekly or bi-weekly or every month, depending on what your financial situation looks like and when you get paid. So it really is flexible. It doesn't have to be like cookie cutter. Speaking of cookie cutter, I'm not even going to go into that because the person who I had this conversation with earlier I know is watching this video. I will talk about cookie cutters later because I think you guys will get a kick out of this. So that little rabbit trail aside, speaking of rabbit trails, oh dear lord, this is the way my brain works, guys. So my mom always used to tell me that I had this little tiny kangaroo that lived in my head that would hop around from idea to idea to idea, and this is why I could never really follow a cohesive storyline. But anyway, we're just gonna get right back on topic. So as I was saying before my brain went into warp drive, there is no cookie cutter way for you to set up a budget. So set up a budget in the way that it works the best for you. Finally, I got that out of my mouth. The third thing I want to encourage you guys to do is take a look at that budget that you've created, your masterpiece, your master plan, and take some stuff off of it. Your goal is not to be living paycheck to paycheck like I've been doing and still failing miserably at. Your goal is to be saving money so if an emergency comes up, you will be able to financially support that emergency and you will not have to worry about how am I going to pull this money together to support it. My family is going to Disney World in 8 days, and I am super excited, I am stoked, and I am so ready for this vacation. However, I'm also terrified. I've worked 10 extra hours in the past 2 days to try and support myself for this trip, so that when I come back, I am not trying to gather all the money I possibly can to survive. My goal isn't to be thinking about how financially drained I am the entire time I'm down there and have to scrimp and save every little penny and not spend any money on something I might want. That is not my goal. My goal is to enjoy my time with my family without having to think about my financial situation. And so I really encourage you guys to start saving money and taking some of those luxuries that maybe you don't need and just putting them aside for now until you get yourself into a situation where you can afford those luxuries without having to live paycheck to paycheck. So the fourth thing I would do is to make sure that you are talking to people who are financially responsible while you're trying to figure this whole thing out. Me, I talk to my parents and I talk to my sister. My little sister Chelsea is absolutely incredible with money, and I don't know how she does it, but she automatically knows whether she can or cannot afford something. I'll ask her to go to the movies and she's like, well, I'm saving for this, so I really can't. And it's like, wow, I can respect that. I don't in the moment feel like I can respect that because all I want to do is go to the movies with my sister, but I really do respect her for that, and the wind outside is crazy. She is such an incredible person and she saves so much money, and I have no idea how she does it. But if it's someone like a friend or a family member or a parent that can really help you try to figure it out, it's a very humbling experience, but it's something that you need to do in order to get your financial situation in order, so maybe down the line you can help someone else. And 5 is a lesson I am learning while making this video. You need to be very humble with yourself. And don't be proud like, oh, I can afford anything. Don't not talk about it, because if you are concerned about your financial situation, that's probably your first hint that maybe you need to get some help. Maybe you need to talk to someone, or maybe you just need to sit down and evaluate your own financial situation rather than running away from it like I have for the past 2 years. But I want you to be very humble about your financial situation and really examine it, even if it's just by yourself, because it is something that definitely is going to affect you later on. And it is definitely affecting me now. So that is my video on 5 ways that you can be more financially responsible. I wanted to keep this video short and sweet because I know how busy life can get. But I wanted you guys to be able to watch this video and enjoy it and share it with your friends. I don't really know where this video goes after I post it. But leave a comment below on how you guys are more financially responsible, ways that you guys have kind of conquered this after college, during college craziness when it comes to financials. And have a wonderful day, you beautiful humans. Like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.